This right here is an old Lenovo workstation PC that we made a video about just a little while ago for only $369. We're easily able to play at 1440p gaming, but we thought that's not enough for us. Everyone demands 4K gaming. We need to make an actual console killer that can play at 4K. We added a 6700 XT to this thing. We also added a 10-core 20-threaded processor, and you at home could build this thing yourself without all the extra modifications we did for around $550. 4K gaming for under 600 bucks. Well, we're about to find out how well it actually performs and some of the issues we experienced along the way, because it wasn't entirely as easy as it sounds on paper. But before we do that, let's hear a word from today's sponsor.
Today's video is brought to you by our friends at Corsair and their new RMX Shift series of power supplies, which brings a revolutionary change to the power supply market. The RMX Shift series moves the fully modular power supply connectors to the side of the power supply for easier access and cable management. It also features ATX 3.0 support for the latest RTX 40 series GPUs, an 80+ gold efficiency rating, 100% industrial grade Japanese capacitors, and a 10-year worry-free warranty, giving you peace of mind for your gaming or workstation PC build. To learn more about this game-changing power supply, check the link down below, and big thanks again to our friends at Corsair for sponsoring today's video.
Alright guys, well, we've been waiting a couple weeks now. We did this awesome video on this Lenovo. We kind of called it a sleeper PC, but in all honesty, it's like a big office server PC that isn't that old. It's pretty new, and we got some new parts in for it because we're making this the ultimate Lenovo now. Now, I'm gonna give you guys a little disclaimer. It's not that ultimate because we found that the highest end CPUs you could get for this thing were like thousands. And I'm talking like, I think one of them was 10 grand. So we were like, ooh, we don't have that kind of money. But we do got a couple $100 money. So we did end up getting this 10-core 20-thread W-2135 Xeon, and it only pulls about 25 more watts from what I can remember. We have a 900 watt power supply, so I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, look at the size of this freaking Xeon. It's pretty crazy. It actually has, I believe, the same boost speed and the same base frequency too. So we're basically getting more cores and more threads while keeping our fast speed, because we wouldn't want more cores and more threads at a slower speed. That just wouldn't be good. And I'm just gonna go ahead and open this so that you guys can see it again. I forget how fancy this handle is. We found this last time too, look at this. Isn't that just amazing?
Just such a great
diagram. I
diagram.
thought of it all, dude. I'm pretty excited though, and I'll definitely probably gonna have Matt install quite a few of these things. We also got this Pulse RX 6700 XT. And this is a renewed card that I think we got it on Amazon.
That's what I was gonna say. It showed up renewed, and I was wondering if you got it.
I think I did. Yeah, because I wanted to keep this, like, you know, it's an old PC, and I'm like, I feel like it deserves some renewed parts.
Yeah.
But it looks like, oh yeah, we got room for like a 3-fan. Don't ignore that I just like
ignore that he just threw it
destroyed the card.
It matches color scheme wise.
It does. It looks good. It does have that Lenovo vibe. Now this is something I went kind of all out on because I was just amazed at how cheap it was. So these are 8 gig SK Hynix sticks. They're 2133p. I don't even know what the P is. 8 sticks because I wanted to fully utilize all of these RAM lanes because this thing does support quad channel, and I was like, nah, it needs more than that. It needs quad channel. But basically, it's gonna run at its max potential with all of this RAM. It already has a 1TB SSD that we upgraded last time. I think we already put new thermal paste on, but we'll be changing that anyways when we put in this new CPU. And then we have a 6700 XT, which we tested it before with a...
So we tested it before with a 5700 XT, which didn't end up working, but it was an RX 5700 we ended up going with.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember what happened anymore, but hopefully this actually works, because we did hear some rumors. People were saying that like the combined wattage of the CPU and the rail together can only handle so much, but when I researched this thing on Lenovo's website, they were saying some promising numbers, like dual 255 watt cards with this power supply and with the CPU we're upgrading to, so I don't think it's gonna be a problem. Let's go ahead and start throwing some of this hardware in here. All right, so for the CPU, I'm gonna go ahead and lay this down. I remember this one was kind of weird. I think it's like a PH1 technically. So I'm gonna do that
durable,
again.
Which we also did realize, guys, he just stabbed the motherboard again. We also realized if you want to use M.2 drives, underneath there's support for 2 M.2 drives, but since we already have a 1TB 2.5 inch, we figured we'd just stick with that, and we already have our games and everything on it. But if you want to max this thing out yourself, definitely go with an M.2.
Right,
Some
so
fresh thermal paste.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna leave the thermal paste that's on the actual cooler, but I'll obviously take the stuff off the CPU, which I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna be smart so we don't bend pins, and we're gonna go ahead and clean off the CPU while it's in the socket. This is one of the best ways to clean these without the risk of bending pins.
You can put a little pressure on there without messing anything.
Yeah, without just scooting it around on all the pins. So yeah, we're going from the W135 to the 2135. After this, by the way, they get ridiculous. We're talking like $500 and up at the time recording this video. So
how much was this one again? Do you know roughly?
159. So that's not too bad. All right, so I'm just leaving, like, this is such a big CPU, and that thermal paste looked like it was some decent stuff. I'm gonna use some of this Master Gel Pro.
We didn't really experience any thermal issues with the 6-core in there, so we'll see how this whole tower cooler holds up with the 10-core. But I'm assuming with the power draw and everything being pretty similar, it's not gonna be that big of a difference.
Yeah, I think it's, like I said, I think it's only like 20 or 30 more watts, which is honestly not bad at all. All right, our CPU is installed, and now I'm gonna go ahead and have Matt install these 8 sticks of RAM, which is gonna be lots of clicky clacky fun.
Clicky clacky. Jackson doesn't have a mic on because we're gonna make this sound real nice. Here we go. Look at all that RAM, nice and installed. And now what we're gonna go ahead and do real quick is install the graphics card, because honestly, it's really freaking quick. Pull it up right there, and then line it up right here.
Yeah, this is one of the really cool parts about this, guys, is check it. Off the motherboard, it's actually a modular connection where you have your 2 8-pins coming off of it, and ours came with those from the factory.
Right there, easy peasy. Honestly, this is the first time I've seen like a pre-built like this that it would look kind of cool if it had a clear side panel. That's better. Nice and secure, got the power connectors plugged in, move it away from the fans, and as long as everything works right, we should be able to power this thing up and play some games at 4K and 1440p. We're gonna play the same games that we tested last time at 1440p and then step it up to 4K to see what the maximum potential of this PC is.
All right, guys, so I need to update you guys. So we got everything working. It did work first boot, which was awesome. We got our 64 gigs of RAM, our new CPU, our 6700 XT, but if you notice, we're running our 6700 XT, just the 6-pin off of a external power supply that we're jumping, and we don't know why. For some reason, we're still having this issue where if we have both of these hooked up on a more powerful card, the PC shuts off after about 10 minutes of heavy duty gameplay. And to be fair, we are pulling, once we're gaming, I think we got to like 320, 330 watts with the whole entire computer, which isn't a lot considering this is a 900 watt 80 plus platinum. But our theory is that all of that power has to go through the motherboard, because if you notice, it comes off of these guys right here, which I think is really goofy. I almost wish it was just a standard power supply that wasn't a hot swap one. It makes it to where we either have to do something crazy like this to make a higher end card work, or we have a theory that maybe AMD cards aren't supported well, because there is a list that I will link. McAllister, hold me to it. I will link this list, and it shows only NVIDIA cards for the support list, but it shows freaking 2080 Supers. It shows RTX 6000, RTX 8000 that pull way more wattage than this. So we have a new RTX 4070 that I'm like, hey, let's plop this in there, because this thing should only pull about 200 watts. I think this actually is just a 2-fan card. It only needs 2 8-pins, or an 8-pin and a 6-pin. So I have pretty good faith in this thing working, since it's slightly less wattage than the AMD GPU. And the best part is it'll be even more powerful. Oh, it's actually a 3-fan. It's just really small. Will it fit before I commit? Oh yeah, this will fit. So we're gonna go ahead and swap this. Does it only use 1 8-pin?
Yes, it's incredibly power efficient.
Holy power efficiency. 1 8-pin on the 4070. And the 4070, to give you guys an idea, performs just like a 3080 Ti. So we're definitely gonna be stepping up slightly from this AMD card. And yeah, if we're lucky, this one will actually work.
Yeah, so if this ends up working, then we'll end up running with the video with a 4070, and just honestly, that'd be the most maxed out we would want to do with something like this. But then theoretically, if this works, the proof of concept, you could go with a used NVIDIA GPU in here, like a higher end used NVIDIA GPU. But we got to see if that's actually going to prove our theory correct. And if not, then, well, we got more troubleshooting to do.
All right, we just had Matt go through and benchmark Halo, and it seems like everything was good. And when I say benchmark, I mean pre-benchmark, just to make sure this thing wasn't gonna crash. But it was interesting. We're still pulling like the same amount of wattage, around 330 while we're in Halo. But yeah, we're only using the 1 8-pin connector. I don't know if maybe this one is, maybe it's bugged. Maybe it has some type of weird issue. It should work just fine. It could just be an AMD thing. It could be an AMD card problem. Maybe this could handle an even better NVIDIA GPU, but I do know this 4070 is giving us some really good results. Like, I'm talking a solid 50 more FPS than the 6700 XT, which was already getting more FPS than before. So I guess it's even more of a sleeper now.
Even more of a sleeper. Let's go ahead and dive into the benchmarks. Oh, it just shut down.
Please tell me that it was like me disconnecting it.
No, it just rebooted. It literally just did it.
Does it normally reboot? Or is it
yeah, it reboots. Is it going?
3 days later.
All right, guys, we're back after almost a week, and we went on eBay and bought 2 more of these things. Yeah, we're our money. Yeah, that's where it goes, to dumb stuff. But long story short, we have a theory that the power supply went bad, and yes, we could have done more testing. We have a lot of cool testing stuff in-house, but why would we spend time doing anything when we could just buy more? So what we're gonna do is we think that this power supply is the culprit, and look how freaking easy it is to get out. So we're gonna try just taking one of the 900 watt power supplies out of these new ones, and I am just going to pray to the PC heavens that we don't just destroy another power supply, because these things are like 70 bucks a piece. But I have a theory that this power supply has been bad all along, because think about it, it would just shut off in the middle of gaming, even with different graphics cards. We went through 3 different graphics cards that would shut off, and finally, after shutting off probably for like the 6th time of testing it, it never came back on. So I think our power supply is dead. I'm gonna go ahead and open these up.
Yeah, and the reason we got 2 also is because we have the parts that we upgraded from this system that we want to use and sell over at PCBros.tech. So we bought another one that is bare bones that'll work for that. But for now, we just want to get this working for the sake of today's video because, yeah, we want this to actually work.
Yeah, I'm excited for this thing. And, you know, I'm not gonna lie, in the back of my mind, I also got another one because I'm like, what if we destroy the power supply again? If we destroy it again, we're gonna learn our lesson, and we just need to basically suck it up and I guess change the parts out from what we were originally doing and just accept that, hey, this graphics card combo just is too much. All right, so I'll go ahead and take this out. This one looks dustier, I'm scared. So here's our 80 plus platinum. We'll make sure we're good again, 900 watts. All right, you guys saw it.
It only fits in the system it came in.
It's system proprietary.
That's easy. Well, I guess we'll just put our graphics card back in.
Yes. We've done a lot of research, and I know some of you guys helped out in the comments, which we really do appreciate. And I know some of you all were saying that maybe the CPU GPU combo is too much, but everywhere I've looked, and this is even on Lenovo's website for this PC, has said this should work just fine. Like, we should actually have headroom. We've only been pulling about what, 350 watts, like max load. This is a 900 watt power supply, so this really should work. Let's bring over the test bench. Let's plug this in first, and then let's bring it over the test bench and see if it actually works. We're gonna go ahead and run like probably some Halo Infinite, since that seems to be the killer of the game. And if it dies, we'll update you guys. If it doesn't, we'll do some benchmarks.
And as imperfect as it may be, we think it works quite well.
All right, guys, so after Matt did a lot of testing, he is 90% sure.
90% sure.
That's pretty good. Oh wow, you just spawned right in front of people. But yeah, that's decent enough odds. The reason we're 90% is Halo did not crash at the time of testing, but it did still look like there could be a good chance that it could still have problems, because when we were running a stress test, we walked away, the PC was restarted when we got back, so,
yeah. Or
or at least the software had crashed. It's one or the other. Either restarted, the software crashed.
But just for reference, if you guys saw the first video with the RX 5700 non-XT at 1440p, same settings, we were getting about 60 to 70 FPS, sometimes in the 80s. Now we're averaging well over 100, so definitely a good upgrade, and it gives you some room. If you wanted to play 4K 60 FPS, you could do that with this system for like 700 bucks, a little under 700 bucks if you sell the CPU that was already in it.
Yeah, as long as we're actually like working now, this thing is absolutely crazy. And my teammate didn't even see the guy with the skull there. Ooh. Oh no. This guy has overheals. How is he still not dead?
That's a trap to your death.
You like that? Makes me wonder what my teammates are doing.
Oh man.
No,
Oh, you traded.
We'll take it.
Hide me. And say hello. Wow, that was a quick run, but you know what? It didn't crash.
It didn't.
We're doing good. So next thing we're gonna play is some Warzone, and hopefully everything works with Warzone, and then from there I feel pretty confident that we just had a bad power supply, and it's just something you all should keep an eye out at home if you pick one of these up. We'll switch to the next game. All right, gamers, we are now in Warzone, hoping that everything is going to run just fine. But I think it's gonna be fine. Balance preset, FSR balanced, 120 FOV, not too bad, not too shabby, 90 plus FPS. I believe with the 5700, we weren't getting that much better FPS numbers, pretty similar. We are using upscaling though, so that could just be what it's doing with FSR. But yeah, the performance is still really good, 1440p, and we're stable, that's what matters. Oh, you good, Jim!
They're fast.
They are so fast. Leave me Well, it's resurged once again, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Ah!
Ugh.
Yeah, barely. Jesus. Well, there's not another one
There's
coming at
one.
me.
There's 10.
Oh!
There's one.
There's 10. There's 10 more. I already know it. Oh my goodness.
It's time, Matt. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh.
That was almost horrible for you. Pulling, wow, 249 watts.
Nice.
We have found that Warzone runs oddly efficient.
Feeling so
Maybe kind of battlefieldy.
Oh! Ah! Ah! Hello! Whee! Let's just run into it. Might as well, right? Oh, you son of a man. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, this is my death. Here we go. Let's go back again.
I think there was like 2 people on this.
But you know what? That's Warzone, and it didn't crash. It's beautiful. But as I mentioned during the outro, you're gonna see some built-in benchmarks at 4K in some other titles, some of the ones we tested today also, just to show you what it can do. But hey, it didn't crash. It's running good. I think we got ourselves a really crazy high-end Lenovo gaming PC for a pretty good price. Let's wrap this video up real quick.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys, after a lot of trial and error, we think ultimately it was the power supply. We even actually tried the old power supply in another unit, and it did the same thing. Orange light wouldn't turn on. So ultimately, I think we just got a little unlucky with the first one, and it seems like it would have worked fine if with the lower wattage overall, like maybe if it was only pulling like 200 watts, but I guess we were just hitting that threshold of badness or something. I don't know, I can't explain it. I just know it works now.
Yeah, so if you at home are wanting to replicate this build and go with something like a 6700 XT, realistically for the best value for your money, because in this video our idea was trying to max this thing out. It had way more RAM than it probably needed. It had a much more powerful CPU in terms of the core count than it probably needed. Stick with the 2135, get a 6700 XT, 16 or 32 gigs of RAM, and for about $550 to about $600, you have a 4K capable gaming PC that's really easy to put together. So if you want to do this yourself, check the links in the description down below. They will be affiliate links. They will help us out. Let us know what you think of this PC down below, and let us know if there's any other office or old workstation PCs you want to see us upgrade and turn into gaming rigs.
And as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/toastybros, and do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Now this PC right here will be available at PCBros.tech, and we actually have 2 more that we're doing with 1660 Supers, so just switching things up. But we have really weird kind of lower and stuff like this, all the way up to $3,000 gaming monsters.
PCBros.tech, gaming PCs, gaming laptops, and we never want to forget to mention merch. You can buy some merch, Toasty Bros and PC Bros merch. Use code ToastyBros2 and check out the same 2% your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.
Peace out.